It wants Dr. Young's login.
Never mind that. Get behind me, now. Bane.
Hey everyone, and I'm finally back to doing full histories after over a year of not doing it. And today, we are going to be looking at the complete history of Bane from the Batman Arkham franchise. Let's not waste any time. Bane was born sometime in the late 70s in the country of Santa Prisca. We don't know anything about his mother, however his father was a revolutionist mercenary who fought against the Santa Priscan government. His father was eventually caught and was sentenced to life in prison, however he died shortly after he got there. Not wanting this treachery to go unpunished, the Santa Prisca government decided to put Bane in prison to pay for his father's crimes, despite Bane being only a small child at this point. For the next 2 decades, Bane lived amongst criminals and in one of the most violent and harshest prisons in the world, Peñadora. His only true friend was his stuffed teddy bear, Osito, though somehow this did not break him. He spent a lot of his early years and teens improving his mind, learning multiple languages and reading every book he could get his hands on. At some point, he befriended an inmate who used to be a priest. He helped Bane improve his knowledge of the world and its many cultures. As he grew older, he strengthened and perfected his body, going through intense daily workout regimens in the prison gym. Over time, Bane worked his way up the prison hierarchy and soon became the unofficial ruler of the entire prison. This was Bane's first taste of power. Taking complete control over an entire prison of unruly maniacs, murderers, and psychos gave him a new motivation to start his own criminal empire. The only issue was the question of where to begin. One night, Bane had a vivid nightmare of a dark city protected by a giant, shadowy creature that looked like a bat. When he told his priest friend about this dream, the priest told him that he was thinking of Gotham City, which just recently has been making waves in the news about a giant bat creature hunting down criminals. This is not the first time Bane has heard of Gotham. During his quest for knowledge in his younger years, he read something about how refugees from Santa Prisca fled to what will become New Jersey and built Gotham City there over 300 years ago. Bane now believed that it was his destiny and right to take over and rule Gotham, like his ancestors did. The only thing to do now, though, was to escape, and the perfect opportunity to do so would soon become apparent. Besides being the kingpin of the prison, Bane was the most physically strong of the inmates. This made him stand out to the Santa Prisca government, who during this time was experimenting with creating super soldiers. They managed to create a new drug that they codenamed Venom, and to them, Bane was the perfect test subject. One night, Bane was ordered by the Peñadora guards to go to the medical ward for an experiment. To the scientists' and doctors' delight, the venom drug perfectly assimilated with Bane's body, giving him enhanced superhuman strength. However, this was the opportunity Bane was waiting for, and he did not hesitate. With his newfound strength, Bane easily disposed of the guards and doctors, and after spending his entire life in prison, finally stepped foot out of Peñadora. However, this would mark the beginning of Bane's addiction to venom, something that would come back to bite him later on. Now finally free, Bane organized his own mercenary group in preparation for his invasion of Gotham. Amongst this new army were a collection of Bane's closest associates from his time in prison, one of which would eventually become his right-hand man, that being Bird. However, before going straight to Gotham, Bane wanted to expand his criminal empire by taking over areas close to Santa Prisca. Although he didn't actually commit any crimes on US soil yet, he was still seen as a potential threat and was put on a list of suspected terrorists. Throughout all this, though, Bane started to recognize his addiction to venom and began to see it as a weakness. And because of this, Bane started to develop a new drug which he called TN1, which would provide an even greater strength than venom without all the addictive qualities. However, Bane never used it, as his tests of the drug showed that using it could risk permanent memory loss, so in the meantime, he stuck with his venom. One day, a report from Bird came in about Gotham stating that news of bat creature attacks have only increased within the last year. Bane, remembering his dream from a year ago, decided that now was the best time to come to Gotham. Bane's gang started small, taking over tiny pockets of the city left over from the remnants of the Maronis and Falcones. Shortly after his arrival, Bane received an offer to come down to the docks. When he got there, he was greeted by 3 men representing the crime lord Black Mask. 2 of the men were sent there to test his strength, and after Bane proved himself by killing them, the 3rd gave him an envelope with the offer. One night to kill the mythical Batman. The winner receives $50 million. This offer didn't really change Bane's plans. He came to Gotham for 2 things, to establish a criminal empire and to fight this mysterious Batman. This money was just going to be a nice bonus. Over the next few months, Bane expanded his operation some more, even making connections with the Penguin in order to get weapons, choppers, and other military-grade equipment. Though when he started to research Batman, he slowly became obsessed. He learned that this legendary bat creature was only a man, but this seemed to make Bane respect him even more. Bane now felt that he needed to prove to himself that he was the better man. He also tried to figure out his true identity, however, for now it proved fruitless. On the night of Christmas Eve, Bane received a call that told him that there would be a meeting with all the assassins hosted by Black Mask at the Royal Hotel. When he got there, it was revealed to him that the man who put up the bounty wasn't Black Mask, but a new villain calling himself the Joker. This didn't really matter to him as his goal remained the same: kill the Bat. But, thanks to his tactical experience, Bane deduced that this would be the perfect place for the Bat to strike, as all of Gotham's major villains were in one place. So, Bane decided to wait in the hotel for Batman to arrive. And, roughly 30 minutes later, Bane found Batman hiding atop an elevator and mercilessly threw him around the hotel hallways. But before he can do any major damage, he was forced to let the Joker have a few words with him, or else he'd blow up the hotel. After their minute of talking was up though, Bane went to town, beating Batman up and throwing him through a window. Batman was able to recover and fought Bane for the next 10 or so minutes. But before the fight could end, Batman shouted out the words,
"You just ran out of time."
Bane turned around and saw 2 police helicopters flying above him. The Joker and his men then started to fire upon the choppers. The helicopters returned fire with 1 bullet grazing Bane's arm. The helicopters were then blown up by Bane's gang's own choppers, and Bane jumped aboard one of them to escape. The Joker didn't like that though, and started firing at Bane's copters. In retaliation, Bane fired a rocket at the Joker before flying back to his hidden base. As he flew back, Batman's words kept repeating over and over in his head. He knew he heard those words somewhere before. Back at base, he looked over his files and finally found what he was looking for. A very short exchange between billionaire Bruce Wayne and reporter Vicky Vale.
Gotham's most eligible bachelor is spending another Christmas alone.
You just ran out of time.
He had done it. He had deduced the Batman's identity. But there was something else. Bane realized that Batman had somehow put a tracker on him, meaning it was only a matter of time before he got there. But to him it didn't matter. Nobody had ever fought him and lived. This night needed to end with one of them dead. So, Bane quickly left and headed to Wayne Manor alone. When he got there, he found the Batcave with only Bruce's butler Alfred there to protect it. Bane beat Alfred and buried him under some rubble, making sure to leave a little bit of life in him for Batman to find when he got back. Bane also destroyed the rest of the Batcave before leaving Batman a message to come back and see what he had done. His main goal with all of this was to anger Batman to the point where he would want to kill him. Bane knew that Batman didn't kill anyone, but for this legendary fight to the death to happen, he would need to break Batman mentally. When Bane left, he learned that the Joker was attempting to take over Blackgate Penitentiary. Knowing Batman would go there next, Bane headed over to assist with the takeover. When he got there, he learned that he had somewhat similar motivations with the Joker. Ultimately, they both wanted Batman to cross the line and take a life. So, together they quickly hatched a plan. Bane would wear a heartbeat monitor, and if it didn't flatline within a certain amount of time, an electric chair would go off, with the Joker strapped inside. Batman did finally arrive at the prison, and Bane and the Joker explained to him the rules of this deathmatch. However, Batman outsmarted them both by temporarily stopping Bane's heart and then later restoring him using shock gloves as a defibrillator. When Bane woke up, he was furious, and without thinking, he used the extremely risky TN1 drug, turning him into an almost unrecognizable monster. But even that wasn't enough to beat Batman, as he was able to use some electrified pacification devices to defeat him. As Bane slowly became unconscious, he started to lose all the memories of these past few months, including Batman's secret identity. Soon after, he was found by the GCPD, however he was now in a coma. He was put in a secure ward in Blackgate for his and everyone else's protection. At some point he awakened from his coma, only to find that his gang had completely left Gotham. It seems that without their leader, the gang quickly fell apart and couldn't compete with the harsh competition of the Gotham underworld. But this didn't matter to him anymore. Bane no longer had any ambitions to be the leader of a criminal empire. His only goal in life now was to kill Batman. And he almost did it too. We don't exactly know how or when it happened, but Bane did escape Blackgate and engaged in a fight with Batman. The fight ended with Bane successfully breaking Batman's back. How Batman escaped with his life or how Bane got sent back to prison is a mystery. Maybe one of the Robins or Batgirl helped. But we do know for sure that at some point after Origins, Bane broke out, broke Batman's back, and was defeated and got sent back to Blackgate. Bane remained in Blackgate for an unknown amount of time before being broken out by the Joker's men. However, he only went from being locked in one cage to being locked in another. Bane was being kept as a test subject for a woman named Dr. Penelope Young within the medical building on Arkham Island. Bane had no idea what these experiments were for, only that it was for something called the Titan Project. This no doubt brought back memories of Peñadora and the Venom experiments that were performed on him there, leading to a rightfully earned hatred of the Doctor. And there Bane remained, until he was discovered by Batman and Commissioner Gordon. Bane told them about how Dr. Young kept him there and drained all the venom from his blood, but before he can say anything else, the Joker proceeded to inject Bane with his new Titan drug. The fuzziness of being strung up for months, possibly years, combined with the high of an all-new drug, made Bane crazed and uncontrollable. But to Bane, this felt good. This is what he was looking for all those years ago when he was researching TN1, a true successor to Venom. Though, as we'll find out later, Titan is just as addictive as Venom. Bane proceeded to rush Batman and throw him through a brick wall, engaging in a short fight. The fight ended when Batman summoned the Batmobile and remotely hit Bane, causing him to crash into the nearby ocean. There, he struggled to swim because of his newfound weight, however he was able to wash ashore thanks to a floating Titan container. But he was still pretty weak and was caught by the GCPD and put back into Arkham. Bane was eventually transferred to Arkham City along with the rest of the asylum and Blackgate inmates. At some point, Bane had an encounter with a Titan-infected Joker henchman, and that's when Bane decided that Titan was too dangerous in anybody's hands except for himself. After that, Bane set up shop in an abandoned toy factory. He then scouted and discovered the location of each Titan canister remaining in the city. However, he was only able to recover 6 of the 12 containers. The rest were located in more heavily guarded and hard-to-reach locations. In order to get those, he needed help. That January, he would hear rumors that Batman was sighted within the walls of Arkham City. Bane saw this as an opportunity to use Batman in order to deny the other gang's use of Titan. Bane set up a distress signal on top of the factory, and sure enough, Batman came walking through his doors. Bane explained the situation to Batman, but obviously left out the part about him keeping the other containers. Batman left claiming he would do the job, and he did just that, coming back only a few hours later. As Batman was asking Bane about the other 6 Titan containers, a group of Tiger Guards, or Joker henchmen depending on where you're at in the story, attacked the two. Batman and Bane easily beat them all before Bane revealed to Batman that he tricked him into destroying the other gang's Titan containers. Bane then promptly lunged at Batman, accidentally getting trapped behind a metal security gate. I know a lot of people say how dumb it is that Bane is trapped by this dinky little gate, but I think there's a possibility that he's still weak from the Batmobile's accident and his rough swim through the Gotham Harbor. Anyway, Batman then revealed to Bane that he was actually tricking him all along. He knew that Bane was addicted to Titan and would hoard the remaining canisters. Batman then promptly blew up the last of the Titan, much to Bane's dismay. The next few months were excruciating for Bane. No Venom, no Titan. But all of this gave him clarity. This past decade, he had been obsessed with Batman, which led him down a dark path. He had forgotten his roots, so he decided to return to his home country of Santa Prisca. But when he got there, he found that it had somehow only gotten worse since he left. The country was engaged in a bloody turf war between rival gangs, killing tons of innocent lives, including children. Bane decided that he needed to do something about it, and he did. Without the use of any drugs, Bane single-handedly killed each of the gang leaders before returning to the place of his childhood, Peñadora, where he hatched a plan to destroy the place once and for all. And that's pretty much the entirety of it. As to where he goes after that, I kinda get into it with these videos, but I'm pretty sure he's successful with that prison demolition. Bane is an interesting villain who, ironically, is more dangerous when he's not enhancing his strength. But what are your guys' opinions on him? Do you think he's still a good villain, or does his representation in Asylum and City ruin it for you? Also, how do you think that backbreaking went down? I'm curious to see what you have to say. But of course, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like it if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it, and I'll see you next time.